talk about the VOD and the silver screen. Kevin and Tom and Joe know all there is to know, from masterpieces to deep fried tacos. And if the movie sucks, you might hear them say, there's no telling where the guys will take you. Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you. Better watch out, it's gonna ruin the plot. Real spoilers. Real spoilers. Real spoilers.
Broadcasting from the lush but not lavish studios located in the basement of the O'Keefe Institute for Advanced Film Snarkitude, this is Real Spoilers, episode 737, Super Mario Bores.
2. I mean, it's kind of the second one, in theory.
Say what you will. That first one is not boring.
It's not boring.
See?
It is a movie.
You know, I honestly don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's
Wow.
wacky.
Hey,
I was
I think
40 when it came out.
Hey, that would be a good throwback.
That would be something.
Have Tom watch the original.
Oh, man.
Although I like that movie, so I don't really want Tom to...
I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I'm not going to share anything with you guys because it just gets torn apart.
That was your mistake.
I made a mistake.
I love to on other people's childhood.
Don't yuck on somebody's yum.
Is it childhoods or should it be childrenhood?
Oh.
Oh,
Childhoods.
That's a
I guess
profound-
childhoods is like your childhood's thing.
But if it's plural, the plural of
Like childrenhoods.
it's brothers-in-law, not
Not
brother-in-laws.
brother-in-laws.
It's attorneys general.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh. I
We
didn't
shall
know that.
spend the next 58 minutes figuring this
Hey,
out.
man.
Yeah,
We did
work-
15 minutes on duels, so
Works
why
for
not?
me.
I remember that.
That dual stuff was pretty interesting.
I thought it was very
I
interesting.
took a break and resumed editing it the next day. That's how long it was.
So I guess let's go around the virtual table and everyone can introduce themselves.
This Joe.
This is Kevin.
And this is Tom. Quick shameless plugs. Don't forget we're available on Apple Podcast, Google, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you find a podcast, you can find us while you're there. Be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. That's always helpful and appreciated. You can also find us on the Facebook, facebook.com/real spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group. The group is called the League of Show Sharers because that's what we're hoping you'll do. Share an episode, not start a league.
Yeah, please don't.
We've already got a league. So I mean, we appreciate your thoughtfulness, but
You can make a society.
we've got that covered.
Yeah.
So people who were kind enough to share an episode this week include librarian Cynthia, Julianne Jordan, Tammy Lynn Powers, Betts, Chris Valls, Ralph Tribble, Gabriel Lugo, Phil Timon, Chris Magic Man, Travis Tewitt, Heather Sachs, Brent Smith, Christopher Rex, Dissect That Film, Edit Photo Gamer, David Rojas, James Gavsey. I hope I'm saying that right. That's a new one.
Jacob Song, Locked and Loaded.
What? Who do I look like? Dan?
Invasion of the Remake, Batman Rye Guy, Colby Mack, Spoiler Piece Theater, Mike and Oscar, Geek to Me Radio, Feelin' Film, Vertigay 314, In Session Film, Ronnie Castle, Binge Movies, Matt Neglia, Nostalgia Cast, and Ryan Terry from the Forza Crowd podcast. So thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
We greatly
And
appreciate it. Also, don't forget we have a Patreon, patreon.com/real spoilers, where for $5 a month you get bonus content and we like you more.
And we just posted the tropes we hate the most in movie theaters. In movie theaters. Well, that too.
Yeah.
But movies in general.
Yeah.
One of them is because of you.
Me?
Yes.
Which is the
Cars thing.
oh
I can't unsee it now.
can't unsee it now?
Drives me crazy.
yeah
Yeah.
that whenever you see an old movie with the cars always look brand spanking new
Correct.
because they just go to car collectors. And car collectors don't have crappy versions of old cars. They have really nice versions of old cars.
Right.
And also, I think if I knew enough about cars, I think this also happened if it's the movie set in 1956, like all the cars end up being
From 1956.
from 1956, as if they only started selling cars that very
Happy
year.
New Year. Got to go trade in.
Right, like it's like there would still be cars from the 30s and 40s,
Right.
putting
Absolutely
around,
there would be.
right?
Yes.
And
Model Ts.
People
probably,
on horses.
yes.
That's
Yeah.
seriously though.
those
so
those Model Ts were beasts,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't, like they.
No matter how hard you tried.
that would have been a wild time to think about when cars started coming out and then a decade or two removed. There was no the society wasn't like, oh, every few years I got to get a new car.
Right,
Those
right.
people were probably like, I spent a crap ton of money on this. I'm going to use it until it doesn't car me
I got
places.
to crank this
Like,
bitch up.
A movie where you kind of see something like that, Paper Moon, right?
Oh, really?
He at the very end. Have you seen Paper Moon?
Not in
Okay, but
decades.
And remember, at the very end, he meets the hillbillies,
Yeah.
and one of them's Randy Quaid, and they fight, and he's fighting for this old piece of crap truck,
Right.
That the hillbillies still use, right? Because he
Oh.
needs a different car, so the cops won't follow.
Sure.
Randy Quaid was old enough to drive back in Paper Moon days.
Well, he was a hillbilly, so he could have been
Yeah.
10.
No, he was probably supposed to be, I guess, early
Is he older?
20s.
Yeah.
Is he the older brother? Then
I don't know. I never carded him.
I just never thought
Then
about
Dennis? I
that
just
he
think
would
of-
have been in that movie.
I think maybe I think of Dennis as being the more responsible one.
Well,
so I just
for sure, for sure.
I mean, Randy's probably aged himself quite a few years,
Yes.
regardless of being older or younger. He's
Right.
Like he has the huge beard.
Well,
and
yeah, he-
crazy hair.
yeah, he looks like what's Gary Busey or Nick Nolte, like those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Randy Quaid is 72, so he would have been like 19 or 20 when
Yeah.
that
Okay.
movie got
There
made.
you go.
there it is.
Yeah.
How old is Dennis Quaid?
Hang on.
He's right there.
See, that's why you start searching Quaid, comma, and then you can just delete it instead of having to retype it.
He is 69.
Oh, so he is the younger brother.
Yeah,
he is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But did I do all the things?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, Super Mario Brothers.
So,
Before we start,
oh man, talking about crapping on somebody's.
I just want to say I don't even know if I'm going to crap on it. So, in 1996, Procter & Gamble introduced a food additive to the market called Olestra.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the way Olestra worked is it reduced calories because as a fat additive, it tasted like what you wanted it to taste like, butter or sugar.
Sure.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
But the molecules worked in a way to where your body wouldn't digest it, and it would just go right through you.
Yeah.
Anal leakage.
And
It was the chips and stuff that if you ate them would.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this movie is the Olestra of
That's a
films.
great point.
Like,
You know
great
what?
point.
You're not wrong.
Nothing about this movie digested for me.
Just
I
right-
was
just-
forgetting it while I watched it.
I enjoyed this movie for what it was. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought
Like,
this,
it's not awful.
This is the
It's
most
just a
like
whole lot of nothing.
this is the most kid-friendly animated movie I've seen in a long. Like it's
It's
not a bad thing.
This
This is straight up for kids.
This is a movie for little kids.
Yes.
Little
kids.
And that's where the disappointment comes in because
The fan base of Mario isn't little kids.
No.
That's exactly because I was talking with a friend about this, and I go, okay, if they made a movie for 7-year-olds, and everyone defending it is going, well, yeah, it's for little kids, but it's like, okay, Super Mario fans aren't 7; they're 7 and 17 and 27
Right.
and 37. This would be.
I mean, I'm 52 and I played Mario.
I think I was-
because Donkey Kong was huge when I was a kid.
Oh, right on.
So and then Mario Brothers.
Sure.
So yeah. I mean, there are people all over the age range.
So it's not a problem if you make a movie that is just for 7-year-olds and you do a really good job at it, because I'm telling you, every 7-year-old is gonna love the crap out
Yeah.
of this thing.
Yes.
But the thing is that Nintendo fans have been fans for 35 years.
Right.
And so when you go to a movie that's for little kids, like I'm not gonna go see a pony movie or like something that's
Oh,
made
I
for
see what
just
you're
little
saying.
kids.
right,
I'm
like
not
if you're
gonna
gonna make a
it.
movie just for 7-year-olds, that's fine, but call it Teletubbies.
Right,
Right.
Sure.
Like that's
Yes,
what that's
exactly.
Because with people that are saying like, oh, well, it is what it is for kids, whatever. Okay, well, there's Elmo movies that are great for little kids.
Right.
There are Puppy Dog Pals, which Joe knows. That's the annoying one that Harlan Williams created.
Nope.
On Disney, you've never.
Nope.
Okay, well,
I got Bluey.
Well,
I can do Bluey.
congratulations,
Yeah.
first of all.
Get a couple beers in them.
So that's the thing is where it's disappointing because when you come out with a franchise that I grew up with, like I grew up in the 80s on
Yeah.
NES, right?
Yeah.
And I never stopped. And I agree, it's great. You can play Mario with your kids and every generation, little kids can play it, but adults like it too.
Right.
And they came out and they made us wait 30 years since the last movie. And then they made a
Well,
movie.
they had to. It was so bad that they had to wait.
But they just made a movie for little kids.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a good excuse because then people.
Yeah, I hate this thing you see going around about, well, it's for kids. And
Okay,
it's like
How to Train Your Dragon.
Right.
Even Despicable Me.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Shrek.
Well, here's the thing.
Why
is-
do we get to use this excuse for movies because people love Mario, so they go, "Oh, it's for kids." When it's like we don't use that excuse for Disney.
I don't even know.
so here's what
I don't even
happened,
know
though.
if the people making that excuse love Mario.
Yeah.
I think they just want to. They're just people that want to sit there and be like, "You're a nerd for caring."
Or they're critic bashing. That's what it really comes down to. Is you see with this movie the things coming back with this. The critics are so disconnected, but it's like, okay, you have to.
Part of that is true. I do think that there is some truth to that.
There's some truth to it, but here's the thing. So on Rotten Tomatoes, when a movie gets reviewed, it gets maybe 150, and if it's Avengers, it gets 400, right?
Reviews, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of 7 billion people in the world, you are sampling 200 to 400 people in the world. So you have to remember there's a small sample size. But what is the job of critics? It is to critique things.
Yeah.
Just because a critic says this film and the story and the pacing and the CG and the voice acting, these things are bad, does not mean no one should enjoy this piece of crap, and if you do, you're dumb. No critic is saying that.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, as a fan, you can enjoy it, and that's great, but to trash critics because they are critiquing something, it's the job.
Also, I would say it's not the job because almost none of us are getting paid for it.
True.
Right?
I mean, that's literally, that is true.
Film criticism has never been more democratized than
Yes.
it is right now. Right?
Yes.
It used to be you had to find a newspaper to hire you or a TV station or radio station, or you would have no voice.
Now you can send a tweet.
Right. And now anybody can do it.
Right.
And that's both good and bad. But I think for the most part, it's more good than bad. And you get a lot of voices out there that you wouldn't have heard from otherwise, which I think is good and bad, but by and large good.
But like with Netflix, right? They're hiring a much more diverse set of people. There's more chances for people to make movies.
To make movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
So it's the same kind of thing where it's like now you're hearing so many different kinds of voices. But this whole thing about critics are critiquing this movie and saying, like, they're not saying don't take your kids. I think almost every review is like, this movie has no story. It's just pure Easter eggs, whatever. Your 7-year-old will love it. They're telling the truth.
Right.
It's not saying if you like this, you're dumb. They're saying it's for kids. Kids will love it. They missed the mark on.
It's tough because I think the Disney, Pixar, Sony machine, I guess not Sony, but like those three companies have raised the bar so much when it comes to what an animated film can be.
Yeah.
This is again, I didn't hate this movie. I thought it was fine.
But this is what animated kids movies used to be. This is a movie for kids and only kids, where we have now gone so far past. Again, this is not. I love animation. This is not me attacking.
No. But
movies used to be more. Kids movie in theater.
Right.
Bring the kids. It's a kids movie. Parents will be bored to death.
Right.
Then this thing happened with really Shrek.
I was just thinking it was. You think it was before that?
Toy Story.
Oh, sure.
Pixar changed the game for sure, but I mean more like when the jokes going over your head, like Shrek really changed the attitude, I think, of animated films.
I mean, Shrek brought in a different tone.
Yes.
But I really feel like Toy Story was the first one where grown-ups were like, I know it's a kid's movie, but you need to go see this. It's really good.
100. I mean, you're not wrong at all. But that's when the tone started to change. And so to all the people saying, well, what
Shrek
did you...
introduced irony to kids' movies.
But with the people that are saying, I mean, respectfully, but the people that are giving the excuse of it's for kids, what did you expect? Look at Disney. The biggest animation studio out there. When they make Disney movies, those are movies everybody enjoys.
Right.
Disney movies aren't for little kids.
And I don't feel
No, that's true. They're not.
They're
not anymore.
Yeah, they're not for little kids.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? When you say it's not for little kids,
Not just
it
for
makes
little
it sound
kids.
like there's something offensive
But
in them.
those creative people throw enough adult themes in there to keep everybody. I was at the beginning of this. They showed a trailer for the new Ninja Turtles movie and Spider-Verse, and it's like that was kind of dumb. Because I understand that, like, okay, we're all looking at animated films, but like those two coming up,
those are the ones that
amazing.
But they're also the ones that, writing-wise, will do exactly what I was looking for in this film.
Sure,
those movies will both have things.
That
for
Spider-Verse
everybody.
is going to have so many spider cameos. It's going to be ridiculous.
And that's the thing too. So in Spider-Verse, I think that's a good example because Spider-Verse is one of those where you can freeze frame and look at all the things from different comics, from different movies, all the Easter eggs, but there's a story and there's characterization. Mm-hmm. This movie is so hollow, and I think the word I kind of landed on is soulless.
Yeah.
This movie does not have a soul. This was genetically engineered to make the most money possible. It was not
Like
engineered.
Alestra.
And so that's the thing where I'm watching it, and
And like Alestra, it's completely forgotten to time.
That's right.
They don't use it anymore.
No, yeah, well, there's a reason. Yeah.
they're not.
Actually, it didn't do that.
The anal leakage?
No, it didn't do like
didn't?
No, like if you there's not very many double-blind studies that were conducted by anyone other than Procter and Gamble, but the handful that were basically said it does a certain amount of that, and if you use this other food additive, it does the same amount. It's just it's
The
not.
late
definitely
night
became
shows
like
ran with it as a
yes.
headline.
Come on, man,
Yeah.
it's anal leakage.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was on the packaging.
That was
Yeah.
So, and this movie's not without its merits. So, with all those things being said, as a gamer that grew up on NES,
I will say
enjoyed-
Mario was like, I remember getting an NES system when I was 7, give or take, I guess.
and I was 2, so we were probably playing around the same
Oh.
time. You know,
And
I was
Mario,
almost 3.
Yeah, Mario was it.
And I was in college.
Yeah.
That's
And this was just about a couple years after prom, so it was
yeah,
just-
right. Got late after prom.
Yeah.
So, but
wish.
but I had fun with the Easter eggs. I had
Yeah, they're
fun,
fine.
you know, looking at them. The music cues are all from the
I like
different
the
Mario
score.
games.
Score was good.
Yeah,
I like the way they
I
brought
gotta
in the
tell you,
music. Yeah.
I wasn't taken aback by Chris Pratt's voice acting. I thought he was going to do some weird voice, but
They did a good job of
he
explaining
didn't sound
it away.
like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
He had moments, right? It's his voice, right? He's going to have
But like he
inflections.
didn't just come in and do Chris Pratt.
No.
like
I will say that the voice, with all the hubbub about it before the movie, was like one of the least offensive things about this movie.
Yeah.
It was a non-issue.
Who was Luigi?
Charlie Day.
Day.
So how much did he get paid for this movie?
I hope a lot for his 2 scenes.
I was saying because he's
That's the other
barely
thing,
in it.
man.
That's a
The-
weird Super Mario Brothers,
Dude,
and
I
we
was
take
gonna-
the brothers
I was
out of the
say
movie.
the exact same thing. So what they did was, instead of making Peach the damsel in distress like she is in the
Right.
games, they made her a badass and they made Luigi the damsel in distress. But why? Why make either of them? I mean, I was really looking forward to the dynamic between Mario and Luigi, and they
Well-
sidelined him.
what they should have done was called it Mario Brothers, and then the sequel, because there will be one.
Super.
That's Super Mario
Yeah.
Brothers, right?
Sure.
Like, and then you go through, and then that's
See, for the second movie, they have to take an obscure Japanese game and replace all the characters with Mario models and call it Mario 2.
Jumpman.
That's a deep cut for video games.
Yeah.
That's what they did in
that's-
Mario 2. They took a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic,
Yeah.
and they replaced all the character models with Mario and called it Super Mario 2.
Yeah, it's
the
bad.
whole game is
Super
just
Mario 2 is real bad.
It has its charms. I don't think it's bad. It's different, though. Like Mario 1 and 3 feel like you're playing a game and its sequel that has evolved a little bit.
Yeah.
And then 2 plays, because it is a different game. It
Right.
it has
Can we
different
talk about the Wizard instead?
first appearance of
The
Mario 3.
The debut of Mario 3.
Yeah. Shigeru Miyamoto, who is the creator of Mario, he's a producer on this movie, which is cool. So Nintendo hasn't made a Mario movie in 30 years because of that live action one that was
Could you imagine? Could you imagine having a movie? No offense, Kevin. So bad that we had
I'm
to wait. I don't doubt that. That we had to wait 30 years to get another one.
So I saw Miyamoto's name as a producer on this movie. I'm like, oh yeah, he is overseeing, and I think ultimately that is what leads to artistically the downfall of this movie. Now it's making $1 trillion.
Yeah.
So genetically engineering a lab doesn't mean that it's unsuccessful in making money.
right. There's lots of movies that aren't very good that make a lot of money.
Transformers. 7.
I was telling a friend, Transformers. Do you like those movies? No, they make billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
So they played everything as safe as possible with their IP.
Yeah.
They made a movie that will entertain kids, which is wonderful for kids. Nothing against that at all, but they played it safe, played it for kids, and Miyamoto was not going to let anything like alter whatever.
Do you think he has that level of
Oh yeah.
interesting,
Well, I mean, I'm
that
sure
creative
there's.
control where he can be like, no.
I mean, Miyamoto created Mario, and he's still at the company. I mean, he's a pretty big deal.
But-
I'm sure there's other people at Nintendo that have control too. But I'm just saying, he's the producer. on this
That's
movie.
rare, right? Like it's rare that a creator of a property has that level of creative control.
He created when Mario was a trading card company.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but so many of these big corporations just
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah,
but we own it. Get
Stan
out.
Lee didn't have creative control of
I
Spider-Man.
wonder if it's a difference between American culture and Japanese.
Oh,
culture.
maybe.
Like,
Maybe that's very true.
But they respect him. Like when you say Miyamoto, he is
Right.
obvious. I mean, he created Mario. He is one of. They look up to him and idolize
I mean,
him.
their company exists because
That's
of this
true,
character. And
yeah.
this is, I was going to say arguably, but I don't know that it's arguable, the most popular, well-known video game character ever created. I mean,
Has to be.
I think you
I
put
mean,
it, you put that
maybe Pac-Man, but
maybe.
but Mario's lived in a lot more incarnations
Oh, yeah.
and has had a lot more success from game to game to game.
He's a construction worker. He's a referee. He's a tennis
But it's not
player.
even that. But to that point, though, like there was the live action Super Mario live action / cartoon Super Mario TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The bookends.
Captain Lou Albano played Mario.
Absolutely.
Ding
Do
ding.
the Mario.
Thank you very much.
Some younger YouTuber, and I really like his videos, but he was talking about Easter eggs for this movie because I was going to say, how many did I catch? And I'm watching, and he goes, and a super obscure reference is the Mario Brothers cartoon theme song. I'm like, obscure? Thank you. How old are you? Like, if you grew up in this era.
Right, but I mean,
That's only going to get worse.
it is.
I know.
I
But
know.
it hurt me when he said obscure reference. I go, that's like the reference.
So you had that. You have, I mean, comic books. I don't think they got as bad as The Simpsons, where they put out their own like musical album. But
I put a lot of stuff though.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they've lunchboxes. Anything
I think
you
Mario is the most recognizable.
you put
and
that
popular.
you put that face
Yeah.
on it. People know who
Everyone
that character
knows.
is. Yes.
You know, another thing that I was thinking about too. You mentioned comic books. I did have Mario comic books.
Sure,
I had those.
sure.
I had all this stuff growing up. Saying this movie's for kids would be like saying, well, comic books are for kids. You can't make a good movie. Comic book movies
Yeah.
are great now.
Well,
But,
okay.
they started
Yes.
for kids, right?
That's true.
I'm just saying these people are making the same argument as anything that you're like, oh, that's for kids, so it just gets to be dumb and you
Right.
don't criticize it. But we do it all the time with everything. It's just video games are a newer medium to be elevated.
Comic
than-
books also, unfortunately, aren't for kids anymore.
well,
Unfortunately,
and,
I think
and video
I think
games
all-
aren't for kids either.
I
right?
don't
It's-
disagree.
it's-
I think that all the companies have tried to do like YA stuff and get into like the graphic novel, because I think that kind of blew up, right? I mean, you've got
do you
kids of
mean?
that age where they were reading like just like graphic novels.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always been this thought process in the world of comic books of that there's people that will read them, but they don't want to get on that treadmill.
Sure.
Of, I got to buy them month after the month.
Right.
So like you put out the graphic novels, and people are like, I read that and I'm good now.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that all of these forms of entertainment, comic books, video games, they change with honestly, and this is a weird reference, but even wrestling. Like there was the point in wrestling and all these different things where they realized that they couldn't do the same goofy like Hulk Hogan stuff
No, it's
anymore.
Shakespearean now.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. All right. Maybe like Shakespeare's brother or third cousin twice removed. But they
Cletus
aged Shakespeare. But they aged their product up
Yeah.
to gear towards an older audience, and I think that is what's happened with everything. So a character like Mario can get left in the dust,
Yeah.
because he's not super dark and edgy character, right? But there is something to be said about maybe giving this movie a little bit of substance.
That's ultimately what this felt like. You know what this felt like? I was watching was an hour and a half long movie trailer.
I gotta tell you, though,
every scene was a movie trailer scene.
Yeah.
It was just jumping from scene to scene.
An
to
hour and a
scene.
half worked. When I saw the running time, I was like, oh,
Thank God.
yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
I guess let's just start well with the plot. It's
Yeah,
just,
so it's just Mario and Luigi are two brothers that they're starting their own plumbing company, and they do this ad, and of course they're
they
both
left working for someone else to start Super Mario
Right.
Brothers Plumbing.
and the ad they're doing the voices like, it's a me, Mario. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh,
Only
you're
I
right.
can do that.
Joe's been waiting, not because it's a Mario movie, but he's like, I can make the voices.
I can do the voice.
And the song is the intro to the cartoon show.
Correct.
Did you know that in the early 1900s, Italians weren't considered white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I guess
yeah.
that makes sense because if you're from Italy, you're not white. You have
Well, we're white.
oh,
I mean,
but I mean, but if you're from Italy, you usually have darker skin.
As soon as he became a cop, he's officially white.
but from Italy, people have darker skin. It's not like if you go from
depends.
Italy.
But I mean, northern Italy they don't. If you're on the southern tip, sure.
Yeah.
But if northern Italy's no different than,
I mean, Yeah, it just blew my
It's
mind
very-
when I was just like, what?
there's
Like,
a lot of like stuff back then that people don't really talk about anymore. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just like Irish and Polish and Italians. Like
Yeah.
we're just all part of the same thing. But there was a time.
I think but Irish people were considered white. They were just considered
translucent.
trash.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there was a degree of racism towards Italians and Irish and Polish and all that stuff that doesn't now.
I think you look back on it and you see it through the prism of like, oh, it was probably like, oh, I'm Irish, so we're better than Italians.
Yeah, right.
And
Nope.
it's like, no, it's like they didn't even think Italians were white.
Right.
Like,
it's now that it's just punchlines, right?
Right.
And we all just roll with it. We're just like, okay, we're all part of the mob. Ooh.
yeah.
So
It's the song from
But we're
Super-
not going to do that voice just in case you are part of the mob.
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
But this is great. They use the theme song for the Super Mario Super Show.
Is the guy playing the game in the background wearing the Lou Albano Mario outfit?
He's not. So that's Charles Martinet, who's been voicing Mario since Mario 64. Actually, he did like Mario Teaches Typing, but the first one that people will recognize when they did the voice, like the wahoo and all that stuff, like that's Charles Martinet. He's been a voice actor.
Don't do that voice.
I can't make the wahoo noise?
No.
I don't
Is
think the
that a
wahoo
stereo?
is. I've never heard an Italian go wahoo.
Because to be clear, the voice actor's not Italian, so
Oh, that son of a bitch.
he took your job. Sorry, Joe. But he's great. He's been the voice of Mario for over 30 years. So that is from the one of the original games.
Like Super Jumpman or whatever?
No, it's from
When he's playing Jumpman.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
That's the game
I
he's
think
playing.
it's from. It could be Wrecking Crew. I think where it's just like a construction outfit that he's wearing.
Okay.
But he also voices Mario's dad. So there's the two.
Okay.
Charles Martinet as both those characters, which is great because one of the big complaints from fans was like, you have the voice of Mario for 30 years,
Right?
And you hired Chris Pratt, non-Italian, and who usually in voice acting just does Chris Pratt,
Right.
So they were frustrated, but they gave him the two voices, and that's at least a nice.
All right.
Good
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
they're at Little Mac's Punch Out,
which I thought was a good little. I like
Restaurant.
that where he's got all the glass jaw Joe on the wall, things like that. They can't call him Mike Tyson because then you have to pay Mike.
No, that's Mr. Dream.
Oh, is that what they call him now?
When Mike Tyson got in trouble, they started printing it was Mr. Dream's Punch Out.
That's hilarious. I
So
did
you
not
can get
realize
either
that.
cartridge on NES, yeah.
I wonder which one's got to be. Mike Tyson's got to be worth more.
Oh, for sure.
Gotta be.
And
People
depends-
love a rapist.
I'm telling you,
It depends
it's
if
a
you have,
redemption story.
Yeah.
depends if you have the 5 screw or the 3 screw.
What are you
Are
talking
we still
about?
talking about the rape?
I did walk right into that one. So with Nintendo games, in order to cut costs, they started replacing their cartridges with only 3 screws to hold the back down.
Oh,
and
really?
So the 5 screws are more rare.
Interesting. I did not know that. I got to tell you, as a guy that collects comic books, I can accept like weird collectibles, right?
Yeah.
And now I have just started to see pop up graded like video game packages.
Oh, it's
right?
Yeah.
Like
Whole
and
thing.
it's and VHS packages like in the shrink wrap graded in the hard plastic.
VHS ones are hilarious.
And I was like, what are you doing?
Anything that
How much you want for that graded copy of Halloween though? Let me just ask that question.
You know how the price is set for these things? Someone's got to be willing to buy
That's
it.
the bottom
So
line.
you know what? If someone wants to buy a $20,000 VHS, you're not ripping off some single mother trying to feed her family. It's like, you know what? If some guy has $20,000 to drop on that, it's a free country, right?
On a first print of Batman 89.
And hopefully they want all the
Have
stuff
at
that
it.
Joe's got.
Those bastards.
Better not grade that Monster Squad VHS I got you. I see that thing on eBay.
Oh, well, I shouldn't sell the Doc Brown one.
What's the Doc Brown?
You got me. I like Doc Brown.
Oh, the pop.
for my
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
I don't. I still have that for the
okay.
record. Yeah. So they do, and then of course
Spike
they go to.
is from Wrecking Crew. Spike, the bad, like they grew
Oh,
up
is that
with
who
Mario
that
to
is?
spoil him. So Spike grew up in Wrecking Crew, and he's the inspiration for Fix It Felix. God, talk about a great video game movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph does everything right that this movie gets wrong. Easter eggs,
Yeah.
cameos galore everywhere, and has
Isn't
so
Mario
much.
in that?
Not Mario. Bowser is at the.
Oh,
villains.
Bowser's in it. Yeah. Okay.
I don't- Yeah, Sonic is on a billboard. Anyway,
Not
but
anymore.
yeah, well, he's got his own thing. So, but that's the Q*bert.
Yeah, Cuber.
Yeah.
That is a movie that has all those Easter eggs, but also has a story.
Yeah.
It has so
Yeah.
much heart to it. All the stuff Ralph is going through, a great lesson. I mean, that is a beautiful example.
No,
of
that's a great
story
video game movie.
that can be packed with Easter eggs. So
Yeah.
I just don't buy it. The whole this is for kids. They're all for kids.
Right.
This is, but this is. We've said before. This is for young kids.
Right.
This is like
But who decides that, right? It's not
Yeah.
like someone said, "Oh, well, this is Mario, so that's a little kid." It's like, no, why did they decide?
Oh, why did they
to
decide?
make it just
That's
for little
fair.
kids when
That's
the
a fair
fans are
question.
30 and 40 years old?
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted I forgot about Wreck-It Ralph, but it's like right there.
Yeah, right there. Mario's dad is not happy that Mario has quit this job and he's dragging his brother with him. So they get a call. They go to this house, and of course,
loved this scene.
This is a good
This
scene.
is one of the most clever things in the movie.
It's
When
the
the
Three Stooges
It
short.
very much is just the Three Stooges, but it works.
but they turned the way they turned the camera, and made it into a side scroller. That was really
oh,
clever.
when they're running to the thing.
Oh, when they're running
to the job, the movie.
We were talking about when they're working on the plumbing in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
That's what I was like. That's the scene.
Sorry, no.
Like,
when they get the call to go to the job,
I like that. That
they
was
turn
fun.
the camera from 3D to 2D, and they're going over things just like you would in a Mario game. That's clever. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay,
we might be in for something here.
That was probably the most clever thing they did
I
in the
agree.
entire movie.
It was really well done.
Really, really good. But yeah, they get in, and it's a whole.
It's very much a Three Stooges gag.
Yeah.
It's like the dog from The Secret Life of Pets. That dog looked just
Yeah,
like
but also like
I think it's like how Disney used to like trace over characters
right.
in scenes from other
It
movies.
looks like they copy and pasted the character model.
is that
made them a
an
little
Illumination
smaller.
movie?
Yeah.
That
Well,
makes sense.
speaking of the trailer for that Illumination movie, Migration.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that one.
it. No.
You didn't get the.
Or maybe I just came later.
I did not get it.
So I spent the whole thing like thinking it was gonna be Duck Hunt. Like,
Oh.
let me see if I can find it.
You thought it was a fake trailer for something?
No,
like,
I thought they just had another Nintendo movie in the pipeline.
Which would make sense though, right? Like, I mean,
That's
you've got
hilarious.
You've got Kirby, you've got Zelda, you've got Metro. Metroid would be a fun.
Yeah. Metroid would be an awesome space. Okay. Let's preface this. Mario would be an awesome movie too. Could be. Metroid could be a really
Metro could be.
cool.
So could Zelda.
Make it like Alien. Metroid would be
Well,
like.
okay, you don't want to go super dark with it, Kevin.
I'm
Like
just
these are for
saying.
kids. We just got done saying that.
You could do it in a way Wreck-It Ralph had that alien space.
Which I gotta tell you, I rewatched Wreck-It Ralph maybe 6-7 months ago. That's a scary ass scene. Like if your kid is like a little skittish, like when they start popping out of those eggs, no thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's such a good movie.
It
So
is.
good.
So yeah, so they kind of screw this up and they're down on their luck
Very
and they're
much so.
very morose. And then there's a report that there's a flood in Midtown in Brooklyn. And I was like, well, Spider-Man can take care of it. Like that's where Spider-Man lives. Actually, he does not. He lives in Queens. It's Captain America.
So why'd you say all that?
Captain America's in Brooklyn because I just realized it as I was saying it.
Oh,
Tell me you wouldn't think that was a Duck Hunt trailer.
Can't back.
I mean,
I can't say
could
you're
see
wrong.
It. I could see it.
Like
that-
I
yeah.
just thought the whole time I was like, oh, they're gonna do Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Like
Good for them.
yeah,
I mean,
but it's not Duck Hunt.
Oh, darn.
dang it. So they find, they're trying to fix this one pipe and they don't do it. And they just happen to stumble upon a green tube.
This is so dumb.
This is very dumb.
Like even by kids movie standards, this is dumb.
it's a
like
Deus
there's-
Ex Machina to get them
There's
into
just no
Mario World.
explanation at all for why this world even exists. It's just
No.
like, oh, there's this fantasy world. Here's pipe that gets you there.
that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
So they make the sound, and of course they get sucked into the pipe. And I do like, as a kid that has played Mario, I never played 2 because it sucks. 1, 3, in all the Mario games, there's no reference as to how the tubes work.
No.
So I did like seeing, like, oh, okay, like just the way the whole intricate setup of the tubes and like the whole thing. That was fun. So they get split. Mario goes one way, Luigi
Meets
goes.
Toad, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key.
That's who I thought was supposed to be. I did not realize that Luigi was Charlie Day. I thought Toad was Charlie Day
So
because Keegan-Michael Key is doing something.
When the casting was announced and I got this screwed up for the longest time, I also thought Charlie Day was Toad because he's doing a voice that sounds like Charlie Day doing his screamy thing. It's very confusing. I
Right,
get it.
and it took me till the end of the movie to figure out that Peach was Anya Taylor-Joy
Oh.
because her
She
voice
sounds
is
just like Anya Taylor-Joy.
I thought she sounded like Britta from Community.
oh nice.
Like, I was like,
I
is that-
couldn't figure it
Couldn't
out.
figure it
And
out?
for the
I was just thinking about talking about voice actors.
Usually
not
I'm
doing,
really good about like if a celebrity is
Yeah.
doing like a voiceover work, I was like, that's George Clooney.
and I like
that's
her.
I do
but
too.
But I was like, she's not. I mean, she's talking.
She's talking.
It's just that's man. And they've been doing this since the beginning. We all know since Disney movies.
When did the celebrity start? Is it Lion King?
Aladdin with Robin Williams?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, which was about a few years earlier. No, I mean, they've been doing it for longer. I mean, Fox and the Hound had Kurt Russell, but he was a Disney.
But you
guy,
can't
I
tell
guess.
that you can't tell that's Kurt Russell.
You can't.
No,
Really?
I mean, he's young.
I haven't watched him.
He's
Okay.
he's a lot. So
but he
does-
was a Disney guy, so
Yes.
that kind of like. But
Who's the other?
But the other guy was someone too.
Yeah,
they've
Is it
been.
It's Mel Gibson. No,
No, he's in Pocahontas.
Oh, you're right.
Mel Gibson
You're right.
is John Smith, right?
Yes.
Matthew Broderick who was Quasimodo? Was it Matthew Broderick?
No, Matthew Broderick was.
I know he was
Simba.
but
Excuse me, I'm John Smith.
who voiced Quasimodo? Was he a famous actor
in the Disney cartoon?
movie?
Was that Jason Alexander?
No, he was the gargoyle.
Oh, it's Mickey Rooney in Fox and the Hound.
Yes, Mickey. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're talking about the thing with celebrity voices, and it's not that they haven't been doing it for a long time, because going back that they have gotten celebrity voice actors, but I feel like celebrity voice actors still used to do the voices.
Yeah.
And now it seems
It is
like
Jason Alexander and Demi Moore.
as what?
Jason Alexander is Quasimodo and Demi Moore is Esmeralda.
Oh, but
Oh, weird.
he plays that gargoyle, right? He's the funny gargoyle.
Oh, well, That's so strange
he
because
does Quasimodo and the gargoyle.
it doesn't say who Quasimodo is. I just saw
Oh,
Jason
that's
Alexander.
what. Yeah,
and I was like, oh, it's gotta be him.
Quasimodo is the main guy. Maybe he
Oh,
wasn't.
Tom Hulch.
Well, there you
Tom
go.
Holt. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't he Amadeus
Rock me.
Is that right?
in Amadeus?
Did he play Amadeus?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
he's the ne'er-do-well brother in Parenthood.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure.
I haven't seen.
I love
Parenthood
that
forever.
word.
But
Ne'er-do-well?
ne'er-do-well?
The way that they like condense never
Yeah.
do well into a great
to a single
description.
word. Yeah,
It's just,
right,
like,
right.
That's a
And
great word.
celebrity voice actors in cartoons, the first one, like their names, like Jim Backus is Mr. Magoo, but
Right.
like I don't know that you really
But star power to like,
Bob Newhart and Rescuers.
yeah, that's
Oh,
a good
good
one.
call.
Yeah.
I mean, he had
We
a-
said Robin Williams in Aladdin is like.
I think that's kind of the first modern,
Yeah.
but the Rescuers. I mean, Bob Newhart and was it Zsa
Zsa
Gabor
Gabor?
or Ava Gabor? I get them mixed up, but and Bob Newhart, that dude had a huge hit sitcom.
Yeah.
like
Oh,
I mean
yeah.
that
Right.
like it'd be no different than putting Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory in a movie right now, which they did.
They
right?
did,
Like,
yeah, like an alien one.
yeah.
yeah.
But so that's the first time I really remember. I mean, you had Buddy Hackett and Little Mermaid, but
Yeah.
Who was Buddy Hackett in The Little Mermaid?
he's the seagull.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Scuttle.
But thank you. They're just going to reuse his dialogue for the new one.
Oh, they're not, because it's Aquafina.
Is it really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, fun. So,
But they've been doing it for a
But
long
she can't
time.
use a black accent anymore.
oh, that makes sense.
She doesn't do that anymore. I would be interested.
Oh, she got rid of it? She doesn't do it?
Yeah, because she took so much heat for it from a cultural
Oh,
appropriation
dang.
standpoint, and so it will be interesting to see. I'm assuming that there's a sequel to Crazy Rich Asians in the pipeline,
Oh, how
and
do
she
they
does
change-
that voice in that movie.
Oh, that's true.
because that was kind of her
You know what? She
trademark.
doesn't have it in Shang-Chi
Yeah,
or
And she did-
Renfield.
Well, in her act, she's
She's a better actor, too.
She's
Yeah.
doing more serious roles
Yeah.
too. But so the thing is, they've been doing it for a long time with casting celebrities and voices. But I just feel like they used to, especially when we were growing up, and because we have examples like Robin Williams and
Right.
people really going at it. But
I will also say the difference then was you got Robin Williams, but that was it, right? Like you
That's
didn't-
true.
Like now it's like the whole cast are names.
that's true.
Like it used to be like you would
get
cast
one.
like the main character would be somebody famous so they could make the rounds in the press. And
then
now
voice actors were
yeah,
the
and then
rest,
the
right.
rest were voice actors. And now it's like the whole the top 10 people
Well, that-
in the movie
I
are
feel like that
names.
jumped from Aladdin to Lion King, right? Because it's Nathan Lane, James Earl Jones, Matthew Broderick,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jeremy Iron, and Jonathan Taylor Thomas was a massive star at that point. Like he was,
Yeah, because Home
huge.
Improvement was huge, and he was on all the Tiger Beats.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would disagree with Nathan Lane.
Yeah,
at
he
that
wouldn't have
point
been
in
a-
his career.
Oh, sure.
Like they basically they cast him and the other guy
Because of Guys and Dolls.
Because of Guys and Dolls,
Oh, it was
they were
like
in Guys and Dolls together. It was
Mr. Corelli.
a huge revival on Broadway.
That makes sense,
And
yeah.
so they were like, "Oh, we like you two as this. We'll pick you up and put you in the movie."
you
But
here.
nobody knew who Nathan Lane was.
Is the Birdcage right after that? Is that kind of like the one that put him on?
It's around the same time.
yeah,
for
it's right
sure.
around then.
Okay,
Yeah,
with Robin Williams as well.
yeah.
I just miss when
They originally wanted him to play the different
Flip-flop it?
They wanted to flip flop it, and Robin Williams was like, "Let's do it the other way."
Interesting.
And Nathan Lane was like, "Okay, I get to show you your part. Right on,
Done.
yeah."
So I do. This isn't a problem with just this movie, but I do miss when the animated films used to have more voice actors.
Sure.
Oh, Kevin, if for people that listen to this in Florida, can you delete any references to the Birdcage? I think we just committed a felony.
Good thing that we're stationed here.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, but yeah, it is a lot. But this is all
Thank God we're in the blue state of Missouri.
right. For now, it is not illegal to podcast.
For now.
your freedom of speech.
Yeah, just wait.
But
It'd be like
But
pirate.
Ron DeSantis did put a toll booth in front of my neighborhood.
It's weird how that works, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. How's that Disney thing working, Ron? You dink.
So yeah. Anyway, but most of them are just but Charlie Day and Keegan Michael Key. I mean, they are
Those
doing their
guys
thing.
actually though they do voices,
Right.
Right. Like Chris Pratt doesn't really do a voice. He's got the. But I will say it. Like I said, in this one, he's not doing the Chris Pratt thing. There is
Right.
a little bit of nuance to not to his performance, but he doesn't sound like Star-Lord. You
Right.
know? Like there are obviously you're like I said, you're going to hear inflections that's like, okay, I know who that is.
I thought Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong was terrible. Whatever that old Bernie Sanders accent he was doing.
I wonder if they wanted Bernie Sanders and they were just like, we can't get him. Because
Bernie
he
Sanders
looks,
in the Super
but he looks
Mario.
like Bernie Sanders. Like even the way the character design, even his movements, like resemble Bernie Sanders. I was like, man,
Oh
could you
my
imagine? They were like, can we get
Could you
Bernie
imagine the tickets
Sanders
sold?
Yeah, right. Yeah, trust me. Given the way people voted for him, it's not going to matter.
And I thought the writing of the Donkey Kong stuff with Seth Rogen was bad.
And
the whole Donkey Kong
but I
part
do like
was-
that he said he goes, I'll do it, but I don't do a voice.
Yeah,
Like,
he at least admits it. He goes, I know I'm just talking. So
it did get a weird laugh when he laughed. When Donkey Kong laughed, it got a weird reaction.
Yeah.
The theater
'cause
people
it's
laughed
like-
at that. I was like, it's Seth Rogen.
I think that was the only thing that made me kind of laugh in the movie is when they're having their moment about their dads and Mario's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, my dad thinks I'm a loser, and Donkey Kong's like, oh,
He's right.
he's a genius.
Yeah.
I was like,
See, that actually had some bite to it. That was good.
Yeah.
That star made me laugh.
Oh,
That
like the
star
little,
that
the
with
little,
the
the little
existential
flame.
dread.
Yeah.
It was really
that was
funny.
pretty good. Can somebody shut him up?
Now I'm like, that is what you'd expect. We're like, for the parents, like the kids aren't going to think anything of it. But
Right.
he's like, I'm just waiting for the swift release of death or whatever. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, me too. That's the character I'm most related with. In the
I
movie.
can understand
It's
that.
great.
But yeah, so they get swept up, and Jack
Luigi
Black-
goes down one pipe to basically it looks like haunted Luigi's mansion.
That's what I thought that they were going to do.
That was a fun Easter egg and reference. He's got his bag and the flashlight, but they didn't. He just ends up in like a graveyard. The skulls from the movie. Again, lots of really cool references with the characters. Skeleton turtles that you would jump on. They would
the
come back
bane of
together.
my existence,
That was kind of a
those.
scary scene.
Yeah, it was
actually.
good.
That was a good scare. They take him to Bowser, and then Mario is in the Mushroom Kingdom, and Toad brings him. He's like, my brother's lost, and he's like, I'll bring you to the princess, and she'll.
And then they hook up. Not hook up.
Oh.
But
Finally.
I know, it's about
For all
time.
these years.
Good Lord. I do like the little joke where the two little mushroom guys, Toads, are like, nope, she's not in this castle. You got to go to another one.
See, that's
a good little, because that was the whole premise of that damn game. It's like, you think you got it? Nope. We're doing
I like
it again.
they're messing with Mario, and they're like, your princess is in another castle. Nope. Also, this is what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, I get it that the Princess Peach was adopted by the Toads, and they made her the princess. Kind of a weird thing for an outsider to come in, but whatever. She's the princess.
She's very political savvy.
But I'm like, their army is terrible. Their security is terrible. Mario shows up. He could be anyone and be like, my brother's missing, and he gets in and he kills the princess.
Yeah,
and
done.
takes over. Like
That's it.
It's just they're horrible security.
I did think it was. I thought they were trying to, like, allude that Peach is from Earth.
She's not human. She's like, you're human. She found that weird. Like, you know, in the movie, in the '93 movie, she hatches from an egg.
No.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Dude,
Who
the
plays her in the movie? Anybody of note?
Oh no, but she looks like a human. I'm just saying, like, her origin is kind of like she's not quite human. I mean, if you look at her, Mario and Luigi, which is also weird because like they're humans, but all the other humans in the world look different than they do. Like they did a
That's
good
the
job.
way humans work.
No, but they look like video game characters, and then the other human models look more taller, and they have the proportions. Like it's just weird that like
They're very stereotypically built like Italians.
no, but like Mario characters, they did a great job with the character models. But it's interesting. Okay, Wreck-It Ralph. All
Sure.
the Fix-It Felix people look like Fix-It Felix animation styles.
I got
They
you.
all right. They
Little,
live
like,
in
Lego-
that world.
not Legos,
little,
but what are
they're
the-
all smaller and they have the right proportions.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that in this game they're like, okay, Mario and Luigi have to look exactly like Nintendo has them, and they're like, Illumination. The other people are your Illumination characters.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're
they
saying.
just kind
Yes.
of like I get that they have to look like Mario, but they could have made them all kind of look like Mario characters. But no, they're from the Grinch. They pulled in all the background characters.
well, they make these Illumination movies for not tons of money.
Yeah.
And
But-
I think that's part of how they do it. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
And they also
the budget
make-
on this is $100 million.
That's crazy to me.
yeah.
I mean, like, given what Disney, honestly, I'm curious as to what the Mutant Mayhem thing, I've watched that trailer more often than I care to admit because it looks
like
amazing.
Spider-Verse.
It looks incredible.
They're doing the thing like Mitchell's vs. Machine, which obviously was the same guys, but Puss in Boots has that different frenetic.
Does Puss in Boots have that animation style?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
It has
realize that.
the Spider-Verse style.
They didn't go with the Shrek style, huh?
No.
Huh.
I mean, it's like CG, but it has the almost like cell shaded.
I gotta tell you, that Puss in Boots movie is
good.
incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's really good. Yeah. Better than it has any right to be.
Yeah, I mean, I remember people saying they were like, it just seemed like such an afterthought cash grab.
No, it's really
and then
good.
people
It
were
works.
like, holy cow, that was really
It's
good.
one of the
good.
better animated films last year. For
I
real.
would
Like,
agree
check
with
it
that.
out. It's fun.
But yeah, so
Turtles gonna be cool.
Turtles, I mean, we in our friend group, we were just like, it's funny. They sound like teenagers, which we're not used to at this
Yeah.
point. Like they actually
They're
sound like
teenage
kids.
mutant.
Yeah,
Ninja
right.
Interesting how that works.
Right.
So meanwhile, we should say, the opening scene is like the scene from the trailer. Everyone's seen it. But Bowser is trying to take over all the kingdoms. So he takes out the Penguin Kingdom. He is now trying to come for the Mushroom Kingdom. But in kind of a weird... It's not that much of a surprise because the games are all kind of like this with him capturing the princess. But he's very much like, I just want to marry her. And it was kind of a weird, like, well, that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to force her into marriage. All right. And the other thing was, someone's like, what if she doesn't accept your proposal? He's like, well, then I'm going to kill everybody.
Right.
And then so when he gets there, I'm kind of like, why didn't you just kill everybody? You didn't say you're going to, like, force her into
mean,
Well,
now-
he didn't want to get canceled.
Well, that's true. That's fair. But it is, and that's Jack Black,
Jack
who I
Black.
think is doing doing a voice.
He's one of the saving graces of this film. I don't like everything about the writing, but, like, Jack Black
He's fine.
He's showing up. He's doing his Jack Black thing.
I wonder if he was like, look, I'll do this role, but I need 2 rock and roll solos.
No, he didn't want to sing.
Oh, really? And they made him sing?
He improvised that Peaches thing.
Oh, dang.
And they got him to, because they're like, we've got Jack Black. I think they wanted him to, and he was like, I don't really want to sing in this, but I don't know why. But
Doing like an Axl Rose impression.
yeah. But he's trying to get to the Mushroom Kingdom to propose to Peach, and apparently if she says no, he's going to burn the place down. But he ends up later, he's just so in love with her. He's like, I'll kill Toad if you don't. And then
She's like, okay, fine.
And then she gives in and does the whole thing of like, I don't know, it just felt kind of weird. Maybe it's because it moved so fast, but it was weird when he shows up and then he's like, I'm going to kill Toad. And she's like, okay, I'll marry you. And then it's like,
And now all hell breaks loose, right? And so Mario ends up fighting Bowser, and they somehow get. Mario is wearing the what suit is the bear suit, right?
it's a tanuki.
What's that?
I
always just called it a bear.
It's a Japanese, maybe like folklore or something.
Okay,
But, a lot of people have been calling it the raccoon suit, but that's not right because when he's a raccoon, he's got his Mario hat with ears sticking out of it.
Right.
The tanuki suit is it is a bear type creature.
Okay, basically he can fly.
It allows him to fly without stopping. The raccoon suit in the games, you have to run and jump, and you get that limited flight.
Sure.
And then you coast or whatever. Right. But so there's a training sequence. So Mario, obviously, he's from Brooklyn. He doesn't have power ups. He doesn't have all this stuff. So Princess Peach is like, you have to train. And
I thought this wasn't bad.
Fight the thing that frustrates me about this, and again, I know kids movie, but I'm like, the princess has nothing else to do but to wait 24 hours or 48 hours. Like, it was weird when it went to night and it went to morning, and I'm like,
and she's still there.
she just has nothing else to do. Her kingdom is at war. She should be prepping the army, and she literally can leave with just her and Mario. The guards aren't protecting her. They don't know who this guy is.
Nope.
And she can just sit there and sleep as like no one's worried about her. No one should say, "Princess, you need to be doing this other." I mean, her kingdom is like strategizing. Her war generals there. I don't know.
What does she need to do?
So from a writing perspective, I just thought it was weird. But they do the "I need a hero," which has been like way overused
from Shrek.
Was in Shazam.
The needle drops in this movie are bad.
They're real bad.
And it irritates me when a movie does this. When a movie takes a song that either was from or is very associated with another movie,
right?
And
like
so
Shrek 2.
and they do this a lot, like 3 times, because like Holding Out for a Hero is
Thunderstruck was the go-kart scene, right?
yeah, and Thunderstruck. I mean, now I love the Thunderstruck scene in Battleship, but
Sure.
I will give them a pass on that one
Right.
because nobody saw Battleship. So and with the exception of that scene, you are right to have not seen Battleship. But
absolutely.
But Hold Out for a Hero is from Footloose, And oh man, what were some of
the but like Shrek was 20 something years ago when they did that. It was fine in that, but
and it was tongue in cheek there. Like it was more of a reference to Footloose,
right? Because they're doing doing a montage thing. But I mean, we have just heard it in several different things.
Oh yeah,
it was just in Shazam, but then it was just in a TV show or something someone was referencing.
It was in Shazam.
Shazam 2. It was just in. Yeah.
That's how much I remember that from that movie. Also, already on digital, by the way.
Yeah,
not
surprising.
Real fast.
3 weeks or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, he does this training montage, and I did think it was a little weird because he's basically dying. I'm just trying to figure out how
he's just losing his power, right? So he gets a power up, then he gets hit, then it goes
But this
away.
is another weird thing about translating the games to the movies, and I know that this is getting a little bit more hypercritical, but in the games, when you get a mushroom, you turn big, like they show in here. I thought that was clever and powerful. You get a fire flower, and then when you get hit, you turn back to little, right? You know. But then if you get hit again, you die.
That is correct.
He's a human from the real world. Remember, he doesn't live in the Mushroom Kingdom. He gets hit and he should die. And I just thought it was weird that he was dying over and over in the training sequence.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, but he came back.
Resurrection Man.
So I was just trying to figure out. Could they have, maybe when a human goes there, they live by... what are the rules of the people?
Yeah, give us some idea of what's... Yeah.
That's the part where, again, everything in this movie is just done for gags, for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
If you just had a little bit of writing, just a little bit, to explain, hey, you've took this whatever, now you're in our world with our rules. You can't die, don't worry, but you just turn back or you have to sleep for 5 minutes or whatever. I don't know.
Man, I'd be knocking myself out all the time. Well, I did that already, and I'm all right. I don't need to do that again.
But he basically and this is the other thing where she's like, I can only help you if you beat this because that means you're ready. And the next morning she's like, you tried.
Close enough.
What?
You got fairly close.
I don't know. It was just a little weird the way
that I have no recollection of anything. That
but
there's
basically Bowser shows up and he lays waste to Mushroom Kingdom. Mario ends up getting the suit.
I'm sorry, Tanuki.
Thank you. He gets that suit and he gets the infamous.
Well, they go to Donkey Kong before she gets captured.
We got 8 minutes.
Mr. Blue Sky. That's the other one.
That was the other one. That was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Chris Pratt's in Guardians.
It was a very high profile episode of Doctor Who.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so. Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, okay. So they go to Donkey Kingdom,
right?
They go to the Donkey Kingdom to get the army, and Mario has to fight Donkey Kong, as they do.
And here's the thing, and this is the other thing, just about the writing in this film. So in a different movie, Cranky Kong says, "You have to fight my son to be able to get my army." Okay, the night before, Peach is talking to Mario. I'm nervous. I don't know if I've got to do this. Okay, you can do it. Whatever, a little talk. The next morning, the arena's filling up. The crowd's filling. No, in this movie, he goes, you have to fight my son. Okay, I'll do it. Boom, full arena, competition. It's just everything moved like that where there was no nuance. Yeah. There was no characterization. I want to sit. This movie doesn't ever sit with the characters. Yes.
But I hear you, and I don't disagree with you. But I do think they made this for little kids.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. They literally, again, this is the genetically engineered part of it.
Yeah.
They literally cut any nuance where a kid would go, man, I'm bored. That's the thing. So it's just trailer shots.
There is nothing to be.
I think they created a movie that was all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
But do you want a Twinkie with no filler?
Right.
No, that's gross.
No, you want a mouthful of that luscious cream, Joe.
That's a big ass Twinkie.
Yeah.
But just a little bit of the scene where Mario's worried and the princess is telling him
there are no stakes.
There are no stakes
in this movie.
Yeah.
The only thing that even come close is when obviously it's Luigi, so we know Luigi's not going to die. But when they're lowering his cage into the lava,
man, it's close, isn't it?
And he's got himself wedged up in the top, and I was like, oh, well, now we can get out. So that's great.
But so then they've created this lore that Donkey Kong is a kart racing society. I don't know. That's weird. Because they're just Mario Kart's popular. Boom!
Right.
Right?
We need a Mario Kart.
It was a way to get Mario Kart.
Nothing in the Donkey Kong. There is a game
called Rainbow Bridge.
There is a game called Diddy Kong Racing where his son, I guess.
I think it's his brother.
Are they brothers?
I don't know.
I thought it was his son. There is a game where Diddy Kong and his friends get together and they do racing, and there's all sorts of karts. It's very much like Mario Kart, but in the Diddy Kong world with different Nintendo characters. But like in the Donkey Kong games, nothing about the Donkey Kong Island and their society has to do with Mario Kart.
No, he's in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That's as far as we can get you.
So the entire
It's
Donkey
wacky races for
It is very much Mario Kart
For
is absolutely
Nintendo characters.
Yes,
but to shove in Mario Kart, they gave it to the Kongs and they made their entire society.
They got toys to sell, man.
I know.
I gotta tell you though, that scene with them riding on the back of the first go kart, pretty good.
That was funny.
I liked that.
I like the Mario Kart scene.
It was good. It was well done. There was a rainbow bridge.
I didn't know
and
how we
fighting on
got
the
there
bridge.
or why.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, yeah, that's fun.
No, and it is entertaining. It is. That's the thing. But it's just like, boom, people love Mario Kart. Put it in there. And here, do you remember that time in the game where you do that and that? And it's like, but the games, you're playing them.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so a lot of these things as Easter eggs, while they're clever because you can point to them, they're not as fun as when you're playing
You know
it.
what would have been a fun little gag?
What's that?
You know how in Indiana Jones they don't show you him traveling? They show like a map.
The map.
That if they were to do that in this, but do the map from Mario 3.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
that-
loved it.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're fighting
Just
Bowser.
wrote a better movie than I did.
It's just, that's a good gag. If they showed them scooting around
Yeah,
in Mario
scooting around,
3
yeah,
to
to
the
different
islands.
worlds,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So they're fighting Bowser. He fires the infamous giant black missile that will track you no matter where you go. Mario tricks it into
Bullet Bill.
Is that really what it's called?
Bullet Bill.
I've never heard of that. I know I've never heard his name.
His name's Bullet Bill.
Okay, I'll take
Don't
it.
you remember Super Mario World with the big
So I never
bullets
played
that-
Super Mario World. No,
good.
I went from like 3
to the 64
to the 60 to the Mario Kart.
Oh, okay.
Like there was a big jump.
Super Mario World on SNES is one of the greatest Mario games
Really?
of all time. Oh my gosh,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
That's the introduction of Yoshi. Which
Oh, then no, I did play that.
yeah.
Yes, you're
When
right.
he hatches out of
yes,
an
yes,
egg
yes,
and you
yes,
ride
yes,
him.
yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
the like level 2
That's
or
a great
something.
game. That is, you're absolutely right. That
There's
is a great
one
game.
of the levels, a big Bullet Bill starts off in the level and you have to run away
Yes,
from him.
you're right. Spoilers for the end of this movie. Yoshi's egg cracks open.
That's the other thing. Right?
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about real quick. So they go from island to island. Bowser's going to take away all the worlds. And the way he does it is he gets the superstar, which is
Right.
the one that you flash colors and you're invincible. I did think it was kind of a clever use the way
It
they
is,
did
yeah.
it. But he's going to take over all the islands. We see an entire island full of Yoshis. So what is our post-credit scene? They tease a Yoshi?
Well, they tease the Yoshi.
I know, but don't show us 1,000
Right.
Yoshis and then be like, oh my God, Yoshis are coming? This is the after credit scene of Sonic. It's the exact same
Oh,
thing.
sure.
The
You're
Tails
absolutely
tease.
right.
Yeah.
At the end of Sonic, it's like, that's cool. You don't see anything to do with Tails, and you tease Tails for
Right,
the next one.
right.
They should have shown no Yoshis and then been like, what's coming next? Yoshi. I just think it's weird
Right.
to show an island of Yoshis
And then,
and tease an egg.
yes. Yeah.
It
it's
felt-
pretty,
it was
pretty dumb. It was very dumb.
But that's the thing. We can't just show an egg. We got to show Yoshis. We got to show everything, right?
They have to know. They have to
Yoshi
know that
Island. They
it's-
got to see all the Yoshis as an Easter egg, but then we got to see the egg. We got to,
Yeah. So he fires Bullet Bill into the real world, quote unquote.
Mario is
Tricks
able
him,
to
right?
trick
Yeah.
Bullet Bill into going into the pipe, and then that goes into the real world and just like demolishes
Sucks everything
the place.
in front. Yeah. And so our heroes get tossed back to Brooklyn. They're losing the fight, and they just so happen they get in a position where they can get the superstar.
Because Bowser like carries the superstar next to him.
But why wouldn't he just use it? At this point?
So his whole thing was that he wanted Princess Peach and him to rule all the kingdoms or whatever, and I guess he was saving it because it's a one-time use.
Right.
So I guess because I mean, unless he was going to harness it in a different way, like maybe his scientists were able to tap into the power.
Sure.
Or something. But it's just weird that it's like, let me just bring around my ultimate weapon with me. Oops.
Yeah, here, you good guys touch it.
But kids,
So, of
you know,
course,
kids-
Mario and Luigi touch the superstar, and they just start tearing through.
And I mean, the music cue.
Music is pretty good.
Do, 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 do,
Yeah,
do.
and it
like, I mean, they
builds-
were,
it builds up
they
to
were
it,
good
and-
about
yeah.
using all the music. I love they go underground and they do dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah,
I mean,
in
they
the
worked
water,
in
they
all
do.
the different,
Again, Easter eggs galore for this movie.
it is.
And they win, right? Of course, they knock out. Shocking. They knock out Bowser.
They're kicking the crap out of him.
They are. And it's pretty great. I will say, this movie does look really good. Like, it's
It
a
looks
really
as-
good-looking movie.
Looks as good as any other Illumination movie.
Yes.
I think they all look decent.
Yeah. So, they push Bowser back through the portal. Our heroes
Shrink him.
That's right. They shrink him. That's
There's-
right.
Mario takes
Give him the blue mushroom.
the poison mushroom or whatever, the little mini, and turns him small against
He's like,
Donkey
"Here, I told
Kong.
you I could get you a toad."
And then they like shove it
A
into
turtle for your- yeah.
And they put it into Bowser's mouth and they shrink him. That was pretty good because he jokes it'll give Princess Peach a turtle
he's
when
like,
they're in the real world.
We have turtles for pets in our
pretty
world.
good.
What are you talking about? So Yeah, so they're the heroes of Brooklyn. Everything's saved. An alarm goes off. They wake up. You assume they're in the current real world. Turns out they've gone back to the Mushroom Kingdom. They being Mario and Luigi, and that's where they live. And that's how this movie ends.
The post-credit scene was at the Star. What was the
mid-credit scenes was the Star.
Yeah,
it's over. Yeah. It's finally over.
I loved seriously. That character was
right.
That was great.
And then the post credit is the Yoshi egg cracking open.
Yoshi,
and that's
makes
it.
The noise.
Yeah. And like I said, this is I will never remember. I'm lucky I saw this 2 days ago, and I'm able to remember what I remember.
I was bummed because I saw it 4 days ago, and I'm like, I just wanted to talk about it and be done with it, because it was so disappointing and so frustrating. And then, of course,
it's been a long time since I've been this disinterested going into an episode.
I know.
But did you have any affinity for the game?
Yeah, I played the original Super Mario Brothers and a Donkey Kong. I played Donkey Kong, and that was a quarter crack. So that was some real money.
Right.
I saw a lot of people referencing the Easter egg. They're like, "Oh, Mario versus Donkey Kong." That's like harkening back to the old days. But Cranky Kong is Donkey Kong.
That's
in the
right.
Donkey Kong arcade game.
He is not Cranky.
Yeah, they retconned it to where the Kong in Donkey Kong now is Cranky Kong, and then I guess that's the grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is dumb.
I didn't know that
because it's like, well, but it's called Donkey Kong.
Right.
The game is still
because
called
the
Donkey
next
Kong.
one was Donkey Kong Jr., and then I guess now that's Donkey Kong, and then the current Donkey Kong is Junior.
Okay.
And so
right.
The one with the tie.
Donkey Kong is really Donkey Kong Jr.
Got it. That's a lot, man. This is worse than comic books. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you can follow that. Sort of.
So Cranky Kong is Donkey Kong Senior.
Right.
So the one,
From
the old
the
guy
first-
is actually the guy that fought Jumpman and lore.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, when he's throwing barrels.
Anything they can do to oh no, we own that. We own that.
This is what was frustrating. So Donkey Kong's throwing barrels and stuff, and I'm like, where's the Mario arcade? Where's the hammer? I thought he was going to beat him by getting the hammer.
That would have been pretty good.
That would have been a good Donkey Kong fight scene. Why?
Like Fixed Felix.
Yes, which is the same. Yeah,
but yeah, it's like it is what it is. Like I said, I think the
kids will love.
And this
the
is making
crap out of this.
stupid money.
It's
It's
highest.
crazy.
With a caveat, it is the highest opening for an animated film of all time.
What's the
Frozen opened at a 3-day weekend. This opened at a 5-day weekend. But it has made almost $400 million worldwide, and it is projected to make $200 million domestic.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Thanks, Tom Cruise, for saving cinemas.
I will say the theater, I went to see it on Thursday at 1:00.
Yeah.
And it was crowded.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My theater, the Draft House in the area that it is, never really has a lot of people in it. But
I would think especially for a kids movie.
Correct.
Yeah.
But this, again, same thing. I would say it was about half full.
Yeah.
My theater that I went to had a 3, a 3:30, and a 3:45.
There were
They
so
were all
many
right
screenings.
next-
I will also say that it's maybe the earliest I've seen the soft opening screening.
Yeah, so
like
this
in the
opened
middle
on
of the day?
Wednesday. When did they
Oh,
do
it
the
opened
soft-
on Wednesday?
So did they do
I
a
didn't know
Tuesday
that. Oh,
early
I
one?
saw Thursday.
Okay.
I didn't realize it opened on Wednesday.
Yeah, they did a Wednesday release to get that extra.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what they do at the Draft House that I didn't realize for kids' movies?
What's that?
Serve beer?
Non-alcoholic beer?
They also do that. They do that. But they also have like a kid-friendly showing and an all ages showing.
Oh, that's cool.
Where it's just like you know what you're getting into when you go to
Yeah.
that theater. I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of dope.
That
Like,
makes sense because their whole thing is like you got to comport yourself like a
Right.
grown-up.
Correct.
And that they're like,
and these two are just like, we get it.
yeah, you're going to see a Mario movie. Like
Deal
you
with
gotta-
it. But I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, I guess that brings this one to a close. Let's go around the table and everyone can say where to find
This is Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter at JoeyButts, BUTTS21. You can also follow me on Letterboxd at the same.
This is Kevin. Follow me on Twitter at Kevin R. Brackett.
And this is Tom. You can follow me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/Real Spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and don't forget our Patreon, patreon.com/Real Spoilers. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, Lena obtains the rock.
Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, 'cause we already won.